Hello Stampers. Today's video is going to show you a technique called masking. In the process of masking, you are covering up one part of your project to protect it from something else. So in this case, what you're seeing is that the blue shell image here was masked, so that when the red and the yellow shells were stamped on top of it, it was protected and you don't see them. And so it ends up looking as though these other two shells are behind the blue one, when in fact they were really stamped on top of it. And by the way, people who stamp with me at our monthly events, we always make technique cards for the things that we do, so that when people go home they have those technique cards to go back and look at later to remind them of what we did. So let me show you what I did on this project from the very beginning, and from the very beginning means that you have to create the mask. Now I want that mask to stick on my project. I don't want it to risk moving around while I'm doing my stamping, and so I'm going to use a Post-it note. And to create that mask, what I'm going to do is stamp it up near the sticky part. So pardon me while I turn this around so I can see it. So I've stamped it as close as I can to the edge where the sticky is. And then the next thing I'm going to have to do is cut this out. Alright, so through the magic of television, there we are. Now you'll notice on this mask that I didn't trim real tight around some of the edges, so you'll have to decide as you play around with this technique how close to the edge you want to go. I left just a little bit of unstamped area around there. Alright, so I'm going to set my mask aside, get my project paper, and the first thing to do on that project paper is to stamp the image that you intend to mask. So I'm going to stamp that image right in the middle on this particular project. There we are. And now there's going to be two shells that will go on top of that, but I don't want them to show through. I mean, after all, shells are opaque. You can't see through a shell. So I'm going to place my mask on top of here. This protects that stamped image, and then I can come back and stamp the other two things on top of it. Alright, so you see how some of the ink is gone on the white paper, but some of the ink is gone on the Post-it, and when I pull that Post-it off, then the shell that was stamped underneath that will be protected. Okay. Oh yes, and you always smudge when people are watching you do your work. So there we are. You can make all kinds of different scenes from this. I looked for something that looked as though the images belonged one on top of the other, and seashells came to mind. But you can build all kinds of flower scenes with one flower on top of another, or appearing to be on top of the other because you've masked it. Just look through your stamp sets and see what kind of stamps look like they have images where one should be on top of the other. Remember, once again, the act of masking is to cover something to protect it. Thanks for watching. This is Stamp Lady Katie, and you can find more information and ideas and project samples on my blog, www.stampladykatie.com. Thanks for watching.